Oh, hi! Sorry about that. Thought you were my grandmother. Hello, my name is LordBakington, your personal food guru and guide on today's delicious culinary adventure. We're doing a very special stream today. We're going to be doing a not farm to table, which is the new current the trend people are doing now of wanting to find and pick their own food and turn it into what they can make with it. Oh, the dogs are fighting again. But we're going to be doing garden to table because I'm doing it on a much smaller scale in my backyard because I have a lot of plants growing there and I need to hurry up and use all my vegetables. My mother recently turned the majority of our zucchini into a dish she likes to make, but I've still got a lot of tomatoes and a ton of lemons. And we're going to repurpose all of those into a lemon cake and turkey spaghetti meatballs. I think you're going to love it. I'm going to have so much fun showing it to you. So don't get too comfortable, everyone. Gather all your things, make sure you got all your belongings with you, grab your baskets, because we're heading out to the backyard. Are you guys ready? Let's get started then. Ready, set, go. Ta-da! This is the backyard of LordBakington. Yeah. It doesn't look like too much right now because I've got my camera on the ground, but this is my backyard. A little sparse. There's supposed to be a umbrella over there. I've got a honeysuckle, lemon, hydrangeas that are having a little rest from their flowering season, an orange tree that's brand new that hasn't put out any fruit yet, and my sad and devastated garden box. Now, you'll see, as you can see around you, there's snow everywhere and there's frost. That's why they're looking so sad. We've suffered a frost recently, so I need to hurry up and pick all I can get. And there's my date palm over there. But yeah, brr, I don't want to stay out here too long because there's another patio set. I had to take all this stuff apart because it was snowing too hard. I didn't want to ruin my backyard furniture. But I really like blue. So, let me give you a little tour. This is, it's a lime tree, I forget. It's a lime tree. And I got this year, and it hasn't put out any fruit yet. But my lemon tree from last year, a Meyer lemon, has lots of fruit. This is a little box filled with a bunch of very, very tiny bulbs called, I believe they're called hyacinths. They're these pretty little blue bellflowers, so hopefully we'll get to see some of that later on in the future. I'm going to need some of this too. This is rosemary that I grow myself. I'm going to need a couple sprigs of this for my dish. One down. Then over here you'll see my sad, sad state of affairs in my vegetable patch. Now, it's weird. There's lots of brand new growth on this tomato that has just completely overrun the entire box. But in the center, because of this bad frost, look at it, it's snowing everywhere. There is death in the very center, and I don't really understand it, even in my years of gardening experience. And the same can be said for my really sad and frost-devastated zucchini plant, which is all but given up the ghost. It's still got some fruit on it that's going to be picked soon. This guy hasn't really plumped out yet. Oops, knocked over the babies. My mother put these there. She likes to put angels over everything. But as you can see, lots of stuff happening here. I think there's some tomatoes in here that need to be picked. Here we go. And so you see the frost kind of makes them look a little funky, but they're still perfectly edible. So, put this back in our basket. Look, there you guys are. Look at you, the chat. Hi to yourself. Now let's see what else we can find. I know there's another ripe tomato in here. I think it's this one. They suffered a frost like right during pollination, so they kind of look a little deformed. But it doesn't matter. We're going to mash these and cook these into a sauce, so it doesn't really matter what they look like too much. And look, there's even still flowers on these things, but at the same time, there's the frost killed it in the center. It's so strange. Just as well, look, I was trying to grow watermelons, and the blessed tomato plant just completely overran the watermelons. This is the first time I'm seeing them. Let's see, on my habanero plant, I think I can get a few off of it. There's one. It's ready to be picked. Oh. Are there any over here? There's some that are not quite ready. This one, ooh, a little big beastie here. Not quite ready. How about here? I think buried under all this tomato foliage somewhere there is, here it is, a jalapeno plant. So, they're a little small. This boy is big enough. There we go. This watermelon too just got completely swamped. And look at this big doodah. I'm pretty sure this is a tomato flower that had two flowers mutated together, and it's growing into one giant mutant super tomato. I think I see a tomato here that I can probably get away with picking. No. No. Well, not too much to go on in there. Let's see what you guys are saying. It's snowing in California? Absolutely it is. Now, these are hydrangeas, and there's really no flowers on it. I was worried these were going to die because of the heat earlier in the year, but they didn't. And now look at, they're surviving even the snow. But this is where we're going to get a lot of our fruit. There are a lot of lemons ready to pick. And these are my favorite kind of lemon to use in baking. They're called Meyer lemons. They're very sweet. They don't have too tough of a skin. Oh! Oops. I dropped it. Bad baking. Not very tough of the skin. They have a very sweet floral taste. And are great for baking. They're also great for preserving. And that over there is a honeysuckle, and it's just finished its flowering season, and the bees really, really like it. I should plant more of that so I can bring more bees into my garden. Rude. Give me your fruit. There we go. Can I do it? Can I do it? Bakington did it. Alright, that's a pretty sizable harvest, so why don't we head back inside and prepare our food. I will see all you guys later. I'm going to get ready for the remainder of the stream. But I have a little job for you all. While I'm preparing my stream, you guys need to watch the fruit. Yeah, watch the fruit for me. Are you watching it? Are you watching it? Thank you guys so much for watching my fruit for me. We have such a bountiful harvest, even though we didn't get too many tomatoes off of that because of this stupid frost that was going on. It's so much warmer inside. Like, it's honestly so much nicer in here. I'm just going to get my camera set back up. Don't mind me flashing my base. Oof. Now then, we've got all of this fruit. We got a couple of, oh, these just, you can just smell them. They almost have like like a bitter orange smell. They're just incredible, incredibly good. Oof, beautiful. These, coupled with the rosemary on a focaccia bread with some olive oil and sea salt. Gotta say, that's some real delicious stuff going on there. Beep, beep. Got my tomatoes, my momatoes, as this little boy that I used to nanny for called them, and 2 peppers. Now, that might not seem like enough, but Here are some things that I picked earlier. Look at these bad boys. They are indeed bad boys. I got some very nice tomatoes here. Even though they've suffered a bit of a frost, it's okay. They're going to break down a little bit easier in a sauce then. Let me just get the camera nice and balanced. Now you see how Bakington does it. He just puts his camera right on a mason jar. And then we refresh. Stove camera. Oven's preheated. That oven is preheated to a very pleasant 400 degrees because we are making turkey meatballs to go with our homemade spaghetti sauce. Did you just assume those tomatoes' gender? Absolutely. I am like Lord Triggerton.
Lord Triggerton.
I don't respect your gender pronouns.
I don't respect your gender pronouns.
Say when. Is that good? Is that good?
Say when. Is that good? Is that good?
How's that? How's that?
How's that? How's that?
That ought to do it.
That ought to do it.
Perfect. Now then, before we do anything else... Ooh, you're right.
You're right.
I need to mute the camera. Boom. There we go. Yeah, we're having an echo giveaway, and by that I mean an stream echo giveaway. So, total harvest says 6 lemons of varying size, but all absolutely beautiful. 1 large sprig of rosemary. This is fresh rosemary, no pesticides. 5 tomatoes of varying size and quality. 2 habaneros and 1 jalapeno. Look at all of that. Quite the bountiful harvest. I'm picking about this much fruit every few days, so it might not seem like a lot now, but you know, I've been picking this much for the last week and a half, so yeah. Give it away now. Alright then. Before we do anything else though, I need to wash all my fruit. I've got a colander here. I'm going to wash my tomatoes because worms and stuff have been crawling on them. There's something deeply satisfying, I have to say, about growing your own food. I don't know too many people who can do that or who can say that, but not that, you know, that there's something deeply satisfying, but that they feel like that it's worth the effort. But I do. My family have been, you know, migrant farm workers. I'm the son of a migrant farm worker. And so there's just something about growing food that just, it's an incredible skill to have. It seems like such a lowly skill because, you know, only the poor working class who can barely get a job are the ones who pick all of our vegetables, but it really is a noble, noble craft. And they are literally the people who feed the whole earth. And I feel that we should all do our part. One, to make sure that the people who pick all of our food and grow all of our food for us are treated with care, but also that we keep our environment with care. Now then, got my tomatoes. We put these on this cutting board for now because we're actually going to start with our meatballs first. The meatballs need to roast off in the oven for about 15 minutes, but they also need to mix and mesh together for a little while. So I'm going to move all of my assorted fruits and vegetables away. And we can begin the process of making turkey meatballs. Now, if you like pork or if you like beef, use pork or beef for your meatballs. I personally find beef a bit too greasy for my liking, and I find pork, I don't eat pork. I'm going to put that out there right now. I don't eat pork. Yeah. Not for any like religious reasons, I just don't like it. So, I always try to adapt my streams thusly. Got a bowl. Got 1 pound of ground turkey. I'm gonna need 1 egg. For a little bit of decorative flair, we're going to stuff them with a little bit of mozzarella. Now, I have a lump of mozzarella like in a ball, but that is for an unrelated non-stream recipe. I'm going to be making my friends some lasagna when they come visit, and I can't really use that mozzarella, so I'm just going to use some cheese sticks. I'm also going to need for my spice cabinet some basil, pepper, onion, parsley, salt, some fresh breadcrumbs, and some grated, not powdered, grated, like get it grated, don't get it in that powdered container, Parmesan cheese. Now I'm going to Rachel Ray it and bring all my stuff here, like she does, just packs her arms full, and we can get started. Did you grow your own turkey? You planted a turkey tree? Absolutely I did. So, here we go. I'm going to open up my turkey. This is frozen, but I defrosted it in the fridge. I'm going to scrape it in there. Ooh, turkey splatter. Wash your hands after you touch the turkeys. Wash your hands especially because we're going to be kneading this by hand. That's right, I'm going to be working this meat with my hands. You got to work the meat with your hands. It's the only way to get it right. What are we making tonight? We're making farm-picked spaghetti with turkey meatballs and a farm-picked lemon cake. Take your 1 pound of ground turkey. I use a 15% lean, 15% fat, 85% lean. Not the other way around. This thing isn't almost 90% fat. 1 egg. About 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. About 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. About a teaspoon of dried parsley. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. A teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of onion powder and garlic powder as well. And a big palmful of basil. Beautiful. Oh, this smells beautiful. Now, don't be squeamish. We're going to get our hands in there and knead this meat. So yeah, you could put this in a mixer, but it might not mix thoroughly. Plus, when you're kneading the meat, your hands, nothing can replace your hands when you're kneading your meat. So, let's get started. Lord Bakington does not like this. But, here we go. Just working this meat. Just gonna let it squeeze through your hands. Mix it up a bit. Let it squeeze through your hands. Where have you been? Thank you, Missouri. I am feeling much better today. I'm sorry if I came across you guys as like miserable yesterday. I kind of was, but I shouldn't have taken it out on you guys. It's really my own fault. Now this feels right, I guess, but it needs just a little bit more breadcrumb to bind everything together. There we go. It feels nice. It forms a smooth ball and makes a fun sound when you spank it. Now then, we can begin making our meatballs. If you find any lumps, just make sure to give it a good squeeze with your hands, but don't overwork it either. Now, I'm going to get myself a baking sheet. Nice baking sheet. And wash my hands. Duh, Bakington, think things through. Lots of soap on Bakington hands. I am slapping the meat. It's my job. Now then, I'm going to take my little cheesy sticks. This is the fun part. I'm going to take them, cut them into about 1/2-inch segments. Dude, everything right now smells like lemons, like fresh lemons and fresh rosemary. It's incredible, incredibly delicious. Whew. So, I'm cutting these into little tiny nuggets because we're going to be stuffing our meatballs with this cheese. And as I said before, I have fresh mozzarella. I can show it to you, but that is for not stream. It's for a not stream recipe. It's for lasagna I'm making for my friends when they come over on Friday, which just so happens to be my birthday. Bakington's a December baby. Now then, move all this stuff out of the way so I can see what you guys are saying. There we go. Take a small handful, about the size of a golf ball maybe. A little bit smaller. Roll it up. Pat it out. Press it a little piece of mozzarella in there. As Giada De Laurentiis says it, mozzarella. There we go. Nice. Put it on a tray. I'm making a friendship lasagna. Is that a reference to something? Because I am. I don't know if it's a reference to anything, but I am making friendship lasagna. Neon Lover, don't feel too bad. They're like my two only real life friends, and they live like 100 miles away, so I don't get to see them too often. So most of the time I'm a miserable sad sack. Roll it around, make sure it's nice and sealed. This smells so good, you guys. It's not even cooked yet. Spanish spaghetti. IRL friends are overrated. No, they're not. There we go. We got lots and lots of meat to work with. Now, these are gonna, you could, in theory, shallow fry these in a little bit of olive oil on a shallow pan. That's what it's called, shallow frying. Or you could make a sauce and add these into the sauce and kind of stew them. I'm not a particularly big fan of either of those. Shallow frying I feel is a bit too greasy, and again, it defeats the purpose if I don't want too much grease in this. And it's for the same reason I don't use beef, because beef, just by nature, is too greasy for my liking. Now, you could completely experiment with the kind of spices you put into this meatball mix. I just gave you the basics. We used a little bit of parsley, breadcrumbs, garlic and onion powder, sea salt, black pepper, and some basil. But you could really do whatever you like. I've seen people add cumin. Someone added, in lieu of breadcrumbs, they used a piece of stale bread that they soaked in wine, in like a white wine, and then they squeezed the wine out, and they squeezed the bread, wine-soaked bread, and added that in place of breadcrumbs. And hey, if you drink wine and cook with wine, then go ahead and do that. I'm not a particularly big fan of cooking alcohol. Just prefer to drink it. There we go. Beautiful. I just love getting my hands around some meat, you know? I just love working it. I'm not Lord Cannibal. I didn't say use human meat. There we go. Make some more room. Get golf ball sized pieces of meat. Okay, now I can't stop thinking about that the Walking Dead game, where you go and meet the cannibal farm family. That was messed up. Woohoo! So, once these get nice and roasty, we're going to put them in the 400-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes until they get nice and golden. Then, after that, we're going to make a delicious sauce out of our tomatoes. Then once all that's simmering away, we're going to cook our pasta. And I'm going to show you guys how to turn lemons into a delicious, delicious cake. You guys are going to love today. I have no parents today, so no rush to finish my stream. So you and I are going to spend a lot of time together. The technical term for spanking your meat. I always called it pounding. You pound the meat, you know, pound it, make it flat. Nice. I've got 4 times 3 is 12 plus 2. 14 meatballs here. Wash my hands really well. Bakington after hours, heck yeah. You and I are going to have so much fun today because it's just you and me. Nothing else exists. Put this bowl in the sink. And our beautiful little babies are going to go into the oven for 15 to 20 minutes at 400 degrees. Don't mind my base. Oop. Just give my surface a bit of a wipe. Wipe up all the bits and pieces. There we go. And I can start putting some of these things away. A few I'm going to need still, like parsley, basil, and the salt and pepper. Really, it's just the onion and the breadcrumbs that are going to go away. And the eggs. Now then, we can begin prepping our vegetables that we picked. So, here we go. I've got a cutting board and all of our vegetables that we picked. Delicious. Cooked stuffed jalapenos. I mean, I can't really stuff these. They're so tiny. Hi. So, let me just take a nice sharp knife, cut into one of these tomatoes. See how they look? They look nice and cute. I'm gonna cut them up into little slices. If you find any unpleasant looking bits, like these top nubs look a little bit frostbitten, so I'm gonna take those off, as well as this little butt part. Put those away, put those somewhere else. But the rest I'm gonna chop up into some small pieces because we're gonna stew these tomatoes, which is why I said it doesn't matter too much how they look right now. They're gonna get stewed into a delicious sauce, so it really doesn't matter too much. Chop them up. There we go. Move all these guys to the side while I chop up this baby. How did you learn to cook? I went to school for a year, and then up before that, I took a bunch of individual classes. Plus, I watched my mother a lot when I was younger. Got lots of fresh tomato here. Smells like tomatoes. Was I expecting anything else? One thing about growing your tomatoes without pesticides is that you might run the risk of getting creatures inside. I didn't, but if you did, make sure to check for those. But you know, helps the environment. But what I do have are a lot of little bits that have been frostbitten. Don't really want those in my sauce. Tomatoes are actually like really good for you. People used to think that they were poisonous. They thought, oh no. Same with potatoes. Potatoes and tomatoes were considered terrible things for you. And oh no, you would never eat a tomato. They're totally toxic. They give you leprosy and they do all kinds of other nasty things to you. When in reality, they're really good for you. Is that? Yeah, that's just a little frostbite again. Tomatoes. Yeah, it is a shame that people are forgetting to learn to cook. It's super important. People used to think that tomatoes would give you leprosy, or they would make you, they would give you like rickets and stuff like that, when they're so full of folate and other beautiful things that it's really, really a good idea to eat tomatoes, and potatoes especially. However, I will say this: potato flowers, and tomato foliage, and potato foliage by the same right, considering that they're from the same family, are both toxic. The foliage, the green part, definitely toxic. Flesh, root, no. And onions. I'm not a fan of onions or tomatoes raw. Cooked, they're tolerable. But people used to think that like you couldn't even eat them until this one man, I can't remember what his name was, he held a meeting in London one day to show that tomatoes and potatoes weren't bad for you. And this guy sat there and ate a whole basket of tomatoes. And everyone saw that he didn't die. And they were like, what? Nah, man, you must be wall hacking. And he was like, nah, fam, I'm not. Tomatoes are good. And, I want to let you in on a little secret, potatoes were brought over from the New World to Europe. And I can't really imagine life without tomatoes or potatoes or products from either of them. tomatoes and potatoes are so like necessary in today's life. I can't imagine like life without them. Yet people in like the 1400s didn't have either of them. Like, what did they eat then? Just meat? Just straight up meat? Chopping up these tomatoes. Ooh, beautiful. This one's absolutely lovely. Just a little bit of frostbite on the top. Like I said, you saw out there, that blizzard was ridiculous. It's like December 1st, and they decided to throw all that snow. But like, what did people use when they didn't have tomatoes? Like, what about ketchup? I know certain like curry uses tomatoes in it. I know a lot of delicious stews that use potatoes. What did people eat, I wonder? Like, I guess they had like turnips and celeriac and stuff like that. That stuff's nasty. I'd much rather have potatoes any day of the week. Potatoes are actually super full of potassium too. And really good vitamins. In the skin. Always eat the potato skin. It's good for you. We're looking good. Chopping up the last tomato. Move tomatoes. Remember how Bakington used to say whenever he would open a can of tomato sauce that you could, in theory, chop, stew, sieve, whiz, cook your own tomato sauce? That's what we're doing, people. All of this effort goes into one can of your tomato sauce that you can just buy on the supermarket shelf, which is why I'm always an advocate for using that if you're busy. But we're not being busy today. We're being super, super cool with it. There you go. Perfect. Now I've got this big, ooh, juicy pile of tomatoes. A life without French fries? Do you eat scallops at midnight? No. Now then, we can begin working on our tomato sauce. So, let's head over to the stove. Dude. Woo! Oh, goodness gracious. It's supposed to be snowing in here too. There we go. Look at that. I cleared out the snow. Bakington's a hero. So in a big pan, got a big pan here. Turn it on to a medium-high heat. I'll add in 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, good quality olive oil. Those smell so good, and they look even better, you guys. These meatballs look so and smell so yummy. Now then, I picked our rosemary. I'm going to pick off the pieces. Might as well switch back for this part. Yeah, none of that. There we go. I'm going to pick off the bits of rosemary. Just a little bit. With a small knife, I'm just going to chop it into very fine pieces because rosemary has such a powerful flavor and oil. Touching it will just put the oils on your fingers forever. But there's nothing quite like on the level of unpleasantness as biting into a piece of rosemary. It's so overpowering, you don't want to do it. So you want to chop the rosemary up into little tiny pieces. What mic do you use? I use a blue snowball, as seen on the M60 show. Oil feels nice and hot. I'll add in half a teaspoon of rosemary. We're going to let the rosemary oil cook into the oil. It's going to taste beautiful. Ooh boy. I'm then gonna add my tomatoes. Try not to spill any of them. Look at that beautiful color. And I grew all of these. Can you believe that? I grew all this. Let me mix it all up. This is looking so good. Nice. Turn the heat up a little bit higher. We're gonna cook these now until they get really dark, like broken down and delicious. But to speed up the process, to help draw out some of the liquid and help break this tomatoes down, I'm gonna add in half a teaspoon of salt. The salt draws out the liquid from the tomatoes, so it helps us do the breakdown process. As you can see, there's lots and lots and lots of liquid building up already. For the remaining ingredients, we're going to need the spices we had out earlier, but as well some organic oregano, and 1 clove of garlic. Yes, garlic. I detest the stuff, but you know what? We gotta use it. Oof. Got my little garlic clove right here. Do you have a rosemary bush too? It's beautiful stuff, rosemary. Cooking these tomatoes down. Were you born in the 90s? Yes, I was. So, you can feel things starting to break down. It feels like the tomatoes are getting softer, which is good. That's what we want. Look at all this liquid in there. Can you believe that? These things were solid and now there's all this juice. Now let's head back to the stove, back to this kitchen. I'm gonna wipe up all my tomato juice. Now then, here's a little tip. I'm gonna chop up my garlic. Got my garlic clove here unpeeled. I'm gonna get, where's my big knife? Meh. Get a knife. Put the flat part down on the knife, flat part of the knife down on the garlic clove. Smack it a couple times, and now you can peel it so much easier. Look at that. Peeled clove of garlic. That was so easy. With the same knife I used to cut the tomatoes and the rosemary, I'm going to chop this garlic clove up really finely. You can add more garlic if you want, but I'm barely a fan of garlic as is, so I'm going to use as little as I can get away with. But I can't deny that it does add a flavor that is very nice. There we go. Just give it a little circular chop. Break it up as fine as you can. There we go. Now we can go back to the stove. Look at that. Look at all that bubbling. I'll add in the garlic. It's definitely smelling like tomatoes in here. Now we're going to continue to cook this until we get a nice sauce. Meanwhile, I'm going to check on my my meatballs, which are looking so beautiful. Ah! Do 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 do. Now then, for the remainder of this dish, what we're going to be doing is cooking these down once we get lots and lots of juice, we are going to mash it, strain it, and then mix it with some tomato sauce, and then season it with all of our various seasonings like oregano. But you can see already the tomatoes are breaking down really well. Instead of having lots of lumps of tomato, it's kind of, well, becoming a mush. In case you're wondering, this is not my beating spoon. Ooh boy. Now, I know there are some of you out there who kind of like tomato chunks, and if you do, you're weird, but you can totally leave the sauce as is and serve it like this. But I prefer to, process my sauce a little bit more because I'm not a fan of tomato chunks. It's not your beating spoon. Why is it red? Because of the tomatoes. This looks so good. So my parents are gone for the weekend. Does anyone want to come over and have spaghetti with me? That'd be fun. I'm lonely. I learned to cook so I could be like better. I could be a more eligible bachelor for The Bachelor, but no one seems to want me. Do a breakfast stream? I should totally do a breakfast stream one day. Wow, I should do that. And just like that, everything kind of comes down and breaks down into this chunky sauce. It's bubbling away nicely. Things are thickening up. All this juice was extracted quickly because of the salt. Yes, do it. M61? No, he doesn't. He's learned by now that everyone I get too close to knows by now that I'm a real nuisance. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper. Looks good. Nice. Now, if you want to, and I do, I'm going to jazz up the flavor by using a little red pepper flake. And you could go out and buy a $5 bottle of red pepper flakes, or you could just order a pizza and save the red pepper flakes that you get from the pizza. It really is that easy. Why spend money when you don't have to? A couple of big pinches. Looking good. Don't want to make it too hot though. This isn't supposed to be penne arrabbiata. This is supposed to be spaghetti sauce. I'm going to check my meatballs one last time. They're looking very, oh, ouchie. Just poke one. Let me just see how one looks. Let me just cut it in half. Does it cook nicely? It is. So, they're ready. Meatballs are ready, everyone. Where are my hands? Where are my glovies? Glovies. Look at these babies oozing with mozzarella. Perfect for our spaghetti. Oh my gosh. Dude, they smell so good. Just keep stirring this. Trying to cook down a little bit. Make sure that everything's broken up. There we go. All right, this is looking nice. So, we can move on to the next step. Ready, everyone? What you're gonna need, where'd it go? Rude, you ran off on me again. I can't work under these conditions. Turn off the heat, turn off the heat. Then I'm going to take a potato masher. I'm going to mash this up a bit. Mash, 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 mash. Mash, 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 mash. I'm just trying to break up all the big lumps of tomatoes still unprocessed. There we go. It's looking good. Nice and thick. Actually, I think I could do with a little more mashing. Can you believe these were tomatoes and rosemary that we grew in our garden? Now let's head back over to the counter for this next step. If you're a real animal, you could totally just serve it as is. But I prefer to go the extra mile in the name of smoothness. Because I don't know what you get, but my tomato sauce never has skin or chunks of garlic or seed bits in it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I pick you. Get back in there. So, I got myself a wire colander, a wire strainer, a glass bowl, my delicious sauce that's nice and strained or smashed, and we're gonna just pour. Oh, it smells so good, you guys. It through this sieve to get rid of all those tomato lumps. Does it matter? I mean, to me it does. Texturally, you're free to do whatever. I personally, though, am not a big fan of all this lumpy tomato stuff. You just ate and you're hungry all over again? That's what my stream's here for. So, I'm just trying to pass this back and forth until I get a nice smooth sauce. And what I should be left with, and really, ooh, squeeze. Squeeze. Don't squeeze too hard. Eventually, you'll get this smooth sauce, beautiful smooth sauce. But you'll also be left with all this unsavory, like tomato skin and seeds that we don't really want in our sauce. If you like them in your sauce, then go ahead, be weird, I don't care. But look at all this. Look at this lumpy stuff that we took out of our sauce. All this was going to be in our sauce. Thank you, it does smell good. There we go. Now I'm going to squeeze out the last of the juice I can get from these tomatoes. Look at that, see? We don't want this in there. We don't like your kind here. We don't like your kind here. Perfect. Now then, we've got this nice smooth sauce. But, just to give it a little bit more body, because according to the recipe we need to, I want to supplement my sauce a little bit with some help. No shame in getting help. I'm going to open and add 1 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Or rather, half the can, because I've got some real good tomato sauce going here. But a lot of the recipes say because our tomatoes that we grow aren't like cooked for a while and concentrated, so you're not going to get the same effect. But what we should be left with is a beautiful smooth sauce. Now we can head back to the stove. Perfect. Now into the same pan, heat up the pan, add back my nice smooth sauce. Meanwhile, I should probably cook my pasta. Where's my pasta bowl? Here we go. I'm going to fill a tub full of water, or rather a pot of water. Ho hum. Water, 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 water. There we go. Move it, tea kettle. Turn it on. Give it some salt. Now then, we're going to let this reduce a little bit because we want a nice, thick, rich tomato sauce. Right? We like thick and rich here. That's how I like my men. Look at that. How long would you say it takes to make? It takes, if you're going to cook it with homemade homegrown tomatoes, this recipe is going to take about an hour and a half. But if you're going to use a can of tomato sauce, then it's going to take like half an hour to 45 minutes. Look at that, see? Now this is getting thick. You can tell, because when you drag a spoon across, ooh, don't do that. When you drag a spoon across, it leaves a trail. You can see the bottom of the pan. That's how you know it's thickening up well. So I'm going to add what we normally add, which is half a teaspoon of basil, a generous shake of parsley, some oregano, about another half teaspoon. A little more salt. And here's my secret to rounding out the flavor. Because tomatoes can be a bit bitter, a little pinch of sugar. Look at that. That's beautiful stuff going on in there. Woo! This is looking so good. Now we're going to let this cook for a few minutes until the sauce comes up to a simmer and everything starts to get real thick. Like I'm talking, like there's thick, and this is kind of thick. This is a little bit thick. But I want like Honey Boo Boo's mom pre-weight loss thick. Is that Shibun's new emote? Holy crap, I need to sub to her. But I wanted to do it while she was streaming. Go. Is it darker in real life? Yeah, it's a little bit darker. Now, I'm going to take my meatballs. Ow, it's hot. No, it's not. Take my nice, delicious meatballs. I'm going to put them back in the sauce. And we're going to let these stew in the sauce. Look at that. These are turkey meatballs stuffed with mozzarella. Oop. And who said ground turkey wasn't as good as beef? Whoever they were a dirty, dirty liar. Last one going in. Look at that. Now it's one of these, I'm sure. It's this one, I believe. Yep. I'm going to cover these, turn the heat down to low, and we're going to let these simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes or until the meatballs are warmed through and the sauce is nice and hot. Meanwhile, we have all of our dinner items prepared. We need to begin our dessert. Fit in. My mother tells me that all the time. She's just like, oh my gosh, Bakington, just fit in already. Because it's hard for me to make friends because I'm such a weirdo. I don't fit in anywhere. I did go to culinary school. I was not naturally born the chef that I am today. And as for husband material, probably. But all of my flaws, like my unstable personality, totally outweigh all the good. Now, we're going to have a lot of fun with this recipe because it's super easy. Only a few ingredients. We're going to make little individual lemon cakes in ramekins. Set your oven to 375. It's not going to take too long to come up to temperature because that was at 400 before. Here I've got a stick of butter. I'm going to need the same weight, 4 ounces, of sugar. Just checking on the meatballs. 4 ounces of sugar. Some would say the most important creative minds of the past generations didn't fit in with their crowd. Yeah, but I mean, you're probably right. I'm trying to blend these together a little bit. You could use a F it. I'm gonna use the mixer. We're gonna get out some toys, people. Do you like toys? I do. I like to play with my toys. Whoa! Here's how this works. I say a number, and you tell me what you think about that number. I'm just kidding. We're not playing that game. What we are going to play is Beat the Sugar. Goodness, Bakington, move all your junk. Get myself my cord ready. Oof. Pull that cord. There we go. Fit in. Get in the hole. There we go. Looking good. However, I'm going to break up some of these bigger lumps that this thing is reluctant to do. I don't want to mix it too violently in this bowl because with the big lumps of butter, they might just hit the side of the mixer and fly everywhere. One of the balls is hatching? Yeah, it is. Hopefully it turns into a, I don't know, a togepi. There we go, that looks good. We're going in deep, boys. Get it really creamy. I can't control it. Just kidding, I totally controlled it. Rude. There we go. This is not soy sauce, this is vanilla, to which I'm going to add 1 tablespoon. I'm also going to add 2 eggs. 1. 2. And we're going to get back to creaming it up. I can't hold it much longer. This is the end, everyone. Tell my wife I'm gay. Woo! There we go. Beautiful. Nice and creamy. So, I'm going to take 1 lemon, 2 lemon, and get my zester wherever it might be. Where'd the zester go? Here we go. Take your lemon zester and zest your lemon skin. Whatever you do, only grate the yellow part. Don't get any of the white part. The white part is filled with bitter compounds called pectin that is no bueno. It'll make your cake taste bitter. So really be careful and just grate the top layer. Can you show me? Yeah, sure I can, in a minute. So we're going to grate just the zest, and I'm grating it over the bowl so we can get all that lovely lemon oil into the... Oven's preheated. Into the cake. Nice. Pipe it up. Perfect. Swap out my whisk for a whisk. Meh. In a separate bowl, however, I'm going to get some flour. And Bakington's flour basin is empty, so I'm going to have to use Lady Bakington's tortilla flour basin. She keeps this flour specifically for tortillas. Shh, don't tell her I'm using her flour. I only need a cup. There we go. Shh. Shut up, guys. Don't say anything. Dab. I'll tell you what. For every $1 I get today, I'll do a dab. For one dab equals $1, or $1 equals 1 dab. Because I need a new setup. I'm trying to whore myself out for my setup. I'm also going to need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And the juice of the 2 lemons that we scraped the skin off of. Get your lemon medieval torture device. Put the lemon in. Oh my gosh, Lady Bakington's texting me. She knows I used her tortilla flour. I'm going to be in so much trouble, you guys. Lord Bakington's going to get grounded. Torture your lemons a bit. There we go. Nice. Just get all that juice in there. If you see any bits of seed, take them out. I don't want that. Somehow the seeds got through the lemon squeezer. There we go. Reported for taking Lady, but don't report me, you guys. She already found out. Squeeze all this lemon juice in. Give it a mix. Ooh, this smells so lemony. And these are the lemons we picked ourselves, you guys. Get another fork. I'm gonna mix together the flour and the baking powder. We'll grab a couple of ramekins. Oh, breaking news, everyone. My water's boiling. Not broken, boiling. I'm not pregnant. So Lord Bakington is going to add his spagoot. Snip, snoop, it's spagoot. I'm using just some regular old spaghetti. Lady, when me madre can't come home and make the spaghetti, so I have to do it myself. That should be enough for no one. That ought to do it. I'm going to drop the spagoot in. I'll let that sink its own way in. Le man cake? I would like one too. I'm so lonely. Now then, add flour into lemon mix. Owie. Get in there, spagoot. I'm going to spray my ramekins so that way they don't stick. Then with my fork, I'm going to mix. This recipe is super simple, you guys. So anyone can really make this one. Just give it a good mix. Don't mix it too hard. Just make sure that all the flour, the lemon juice, butter, everything's nice incorporated. Nice. It's a nice creamy batter. So, ooh, found some more flour. And I'm going to divide all this mix into my 3 ramekins. Oop. Perfect. Delicious. Hold up. There we go, all the spaghetti got in. We're safe, the spaghetti's in the oven. Does Mommers? She does. Didn't you hear my phone buzzing? She was texting me. Probably to say that I took her flour. And then she's going to start. I'm going to get a call after my stream. She's probably watching the stream. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mother. My mother's probably going to call me after the stream and talk about how I used her flour. And she's going to yell at me. And she yells, she drifts in between Spanish and English. So I'm going to have to try really hard to understand her. But in go the cakerinos. And I need to clean up my mess. Clean up, everybody, everywhere, clean up, everybody, pick up some garbage. Well, since I can't pick myself up. That is so lemony, you guys. You're gonna love it. This can go away too. Our sauce is nice and cooked. So all we're waiting on now is our pasta. Nice. Do you like Yu-Gi-Oh? Or don't make me choose between my two loves. I'm not gonna put, if I put, okay, no. You don't understand. This is our family tortilla basket. This is like 4 times as old as I am. If I was to put this in the oven, it's plastic, it would melt, and I'd be destroying a family heirloom. It's 1 pound of ground beef. Let's go check out our food, actually. There we go. Ta-da! Ooh, it's getting steamy in the Bakington kitchen. When isn't it, though? Nice, thick sauce. Look at all that gooey mozzarella in there. And these are still so tender. Spaghetti's getting nice and cooked. Simmer to thicken, but this looks so yummy. Blah, blah, blah. You can tell because of how thick it is. Look at that. It's not thin dribbles. It's a nice, thick, free-flowing, just one stream. That's a good, strong stream. My shirt is... I don't even know. I got it at H&M. And it always wrinkles in the front, so I always try to smooth it out. Is the spaghetti done? Survey says no. These look so yummy. Pinku, it's because of the lighting on my camera. It's actually a lot darker than it looks. Plus we used fresh tomatoes, so that might have affected it too. Yeah, fresh tomatoes. Earlier in the stream, we picked them ourselves, too. We went to my backyard and picked all these tomatoes. look how thick this has become already. Like, super thick. And according to this pasta, well, actually I don't know because I don't speak pasta. Time for a test, a Bakington test. Whoops. Using my ice tongs, I'm going to carefully pick out a piece of spaghetti and taste it. Yummy. That is beautifully al dente. It's got this soft, tender outside, but it's not so soft that it's unpleasant. It's got this little bit of a bite to it, so it's good. Turn that off. Where's my glovey? Ready, guys? We're gonna drain this pasta. Gotta get myself a glovey. Where are the glovies? Glovies. Where'd they go? No, really, where'd they go? Help! Someone stole my gloves! Have to make do with this then. Ready? Ooh, I'm not vaping, I swear. Nice. Turn that off. Give this pasta just a generous dousing of olive oil to keep things from sticking. Nice. And then I'll get some of my sauce once we're ready. Get myself a nice white plate. Get myself some pasta. I'm going to take a handful with my tongs, and we're just going to twist it into a little nest of pasta. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about plating now, because plating is important. Plates are composed of three pieces. You got the flat part, called the canvas, then you got this little raised edge, called the rim, and you got the grabbing end, this part, called the frame. Ideally, you want your food to stay inside the canvas and off of the other two components. And then, you don't want to make the dish look disjointed by kind of separating them. You want to make them blend evenly together. It's divided up into three sections. You got your vegetable area, your protein, and your starch, and you kind of have to let them meet in the middle somewhere in a semi-uniform shape. Always, regardless of what you're making, keep food off the rim. Off of the frame. So, let's go over to the stove one more time. Grab us a meaty ball. Heck, why don't we grab two? I'll grab this one. There we go. Put that off to the side right there. Then I'm gonna stir this up and grab some sauce. Move all the meaty balls to one side so I can actually grab some sauce. The sauce's flavor has been fortified with all that delicious spice and juice from the meatballs. Like that. Now, I'm going to wipe the rim a bit because I got some sauce on the rim. I'm going to wipe it off. Look at that. Isn't that like beautiful? That's beautiful right there. And I can't believe that we grew it. We grew this food. This looks so yummy. I'm gonna snap a quick picture before we do anything else because I want to make sure I save this. Goodness, my Twitter is blowing up. You guys should follow me on Twitter. I say weird stuff. Why do you always want to stop working, Snapchat, when I need you? Okay, fine. I'll just use regular camera then. Oh my god, the dogs are fighting again. Perfect. Now let's dig in, people. Get yourself a knife and a fork. Can someone change it to social eating, please? I don't want to get ban-arinoed. Oh my gosh, this meatball looks so tender. I'm going to try the meatball on its own first. That is so good. Not the slightest bit dry or bland, but it's got this wonderful texture. And that is ridiculous. And with that mozzarella, it just makes it taste so much better. I was worried though because turkey is a bit dry. This isn't. Oh yeah, that is beautiful. This is delicious, you guys. Honestly. Now I'm going to try a bit of my pasta. Give the spoon a bit of a twist. Or the fork, rather. Ooh, that's hot. I'm not going to try eating that yet. Ready? Oh, yes. That is so delicious. And it tastes different than just using plain, straight tomato sauce. It has this fresh feel, this kind of sweet, fresh feel to it that you can only really get with fresh tomatoes. Now I want to try a little bit of both. That's a little too much pasta for that bite. Cap it off with a piece of, look at that bite. Actually, I want you guys to have this bite. This is the perfect bite right here, and I want to save it for you. Here you go. The perfect bite with mozzarella, spaghetti, and a meatball, just for you. Here comes the plane. Nom, nom, nom. We just shared a special moment. Ow. Is it suitable for gluten-free vegans? Well, here's the thing. Rice pasta? Vegan? Chickpeas, I guess? Chickpea balls, I guess falafel then? No. It's not. No. This is NSFV. Not safe for vegans. Ready? I can fit this whole meatball in my mouth. Mmm. You hate me for putting it in the camera? Why? Mmm. This is so good, you guys. Watch me suck all this pasta up. Mmm. Yummy. I'm going to check real quick on our cakes, which are looking beautiful. They should only be a few more minutes. You're hungry now? I am too. Mmm. Yum, yum, yum. Mmm. Ow. Get some of that pasta. Ah! Bad Bakington. It ain't a true Bakington stream if I don't drop something. Ow. Oh, it's too full. My mouth was too full. Sorry about that. Got a little too excited. We're not making KFC. We're making pasta. Mmm. Mmm. This is so good. Like, it's incredible that we were able to grow this and turn it into something beautiful. Oh, yum. Look at that. Oh, all gone. Yummy. And it's time for dessert. In the form of these beautiful, crinkly, here I'll show you. These crinkly, beautiful lemon, individual lemon cakes. They look so cute and they're nice and firm. So, ooh, this one crumpled a little bit. That's okay. Mmm. That is so good. Ah, get on the plate, please. Thank you. Mmm. This cake is so delicious. Think of like lemon shortbread in the form of a cake. Now let's tear into this bad boy. Oh my gosh, it is so perfect. It's a perfect little ramekin cake. Ooh, it's hot though. Mmm. Oh, that is so lemony. While you're chewing it, you get little bites of cooked lemon zest and it's delicious. And you get the wonderful sweet lemon juice flavor. Mmm. Yum. This, hot out of the oven, with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, would probably be really yummy. For the same reason that a brownie, hot out of the oven with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, is delicious. Amazing. Not overbeaten. Not too sweet either. We didn't need to add too much sugar because these are very sweet lemons. It's so fluffy and so tender. Yum. Beautiful. That was delicious, you guys. Really good. Wow, that was just... Both dishes are incredible. Like this, for the spaghetti, and the cake. That's like what? $20 at a restaurant. And I grew like some of the main ingredients in this. Plus, there's such a romantic feel to growing and then cooking a nice dinner for someone versus just going out to dinner. Which would be nice if I wasn't single. Rate the meal. I give this a 9.9 out of 10. Because there's always room for improvement. Yeah, I only have one eye. I lost the other one in Nam. Don't you feel like a jerk now? This is so good, but I'm really getting full. Yeah, I'm pretty full. Well, that was so good. The pasta is absolutely delicious. I used a nice thick spaghetti because it held up against all that sauce and meat. Delicious. And I'm glad I made individual little ramekin cakes because this is so much more easy than making a big old cake, waiting like 40 minutes for it to cook, and then cutting it into a slice. It's so good. Oh, but my tummy's really full now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this stream, click down below to all of my various social medias. My Twitch is here, so leave a follow. My Tumblr is down below, so you can see my recipes. My YouTube channel, where I post videos not relating to relating to food, but videos that are too short for a stream. And I would really appreciate it if you could come back next time on Monday when I make something else wonderful. Excuse me. No stream on Friday. I have, well, Friday's tomorrow. No stream tomorrow. I'm going out for my birthday with some friends. So I will wish you all a wonderful week, and I will see you all Monday, same time, same Bakington place. Peace.